back to ESPN's coverage of U.S. soccer presented by the United States Marine Corps. Tonight, from RFK Stadium, the United States gets ready to take on Cuba. John Harks, what's Bob Bradley looking for from his team tonight besides a win?
Another solid performance, and it all starts about their defense first. Defense in their mind, keep their shape, be organized. Don't let any doors open up that can make them weak, especially playing at home. But let's be hard and let's go after this team and win. As
for Reinhold Fonz, not a bad record since he's been with Cuba. We like the way Cuba played against the U.S. in Cuba. This could be a different story here tonight. Remember that night, rainy, the field was hard, much better surface. A great night for soccer as this one's underway with the USA in the white tops and the dark shorts. Cuba, red tops, blue shorts. What do we look for early in the game?
Well, I think from Cuba's perspective, they've got nothing to lose, so they may press the ball at times, but again, they want to keep this game as long as they can at a 0-0 stance. Now from the USA, they're going to go after it. I would expect them to try to at least, put the ball in the back of the net early, control this game, dictate the pace. 3 or 4 goals I'm looking for from the U.S.
Bocanegra played it up to Sasha Kleshton, playing more as an attacking midfielder. Second straight start for him in that spot. Got a full 90 against Trinidad and Tobago at Toyota Park. Donovan's touch. Ching back for Donovan. Left side Pierce runs up the wing. Now he's broken up. Villegas, number 7, to Clavelo, the captain. On that right side, Cuba will possess back off Clavelo, who has a lot of defensive responsibilities tonight. Ching in the air. It's one of his strengths. Kleshton follows it up. That's congested right there.
Very tight, and just moments before that, Landon Donovan combined it well with Ching, and then he laid a ball to Heath Pierce, who went to overlap, and Ching didn't know that, and he got in the way, broke up the play. So it's just a communication. It's loud in here. They've got to spread out the field, open it up, be patient, but really stick their passes, be clean with their passes.
Villegas with that pass, taken away. DeMarcus Beasley, he is taken down. The foul is called. Referee is from Panama, Roberto Moreno Salazar. Onyewu, who is from nearby Olney. Family and friends, plenty of them in the stands tonight for a lot of reasons, because many of the players and coaches have connections in the D.C. area. There's one of them, Michael Bradley, grew up playing here. Bocanegra to Beasley. Pierce. All the way back to Onyewu. A lot of room on that far side of the field. Chirundolo pass. Played back poorly, and it's picked off. Cuba now attacking with some numbers from the left flank, and then they give it right back. Here's Michael Bradley for Chirundolo. Back to Onyewu. Pierce started every World Cup qualifier in this round for the U.S. She played every minute. Kleshton breaks it up. The look is for Donovan. Knocked out of play. And then 6 goals against Cuba. Lifetime. 4 of them came in 1 game. Cuba back on the ball. Michael Bradley lost it there. Duarte. Clavelo. Pressured by Donovan. Released to the far side. 2 is Silvio Minoso, one of the veterans on this Cuba team. Back to goal. Molina's pass. Molina's started now 3 straight in qualifying. Donovan waits for the help. It's there. Quick shot save off Dempsey. Dempsey has 4 goals in his last 4 games. He nearly added another.
Very nice ball by Landon Donovan. The way to the pass is perfect as he leads Dempsey through there. That turnover by Cervantes on the left-hand side. And that's Cuba really in a 4-4-2 type shape, trying to sit back and be patient, but you can't give the ball away because they will hurt you, the U.S. And really, Dempsey should be doing better with that.
Would have been a rough start for Cuba. You were talking about keeping it scoreless as long as they could. We're only in the 5th minute now, and the USA nearly had one. Chirundolo pushed it back. Captain is there. Bocanegra. 4 goals for Bocanegra in his last 15 games, trailing only Dempsey and Donovan in terms of goals scored during that stretch. Question. Cervantes knocked it down, almost right at Dempsey. Clavello picks it up. Cervantes, into the middle it goes. Palome's pass. Intended for Villegas. It's behind him. USA has a throw in. Michael Bradley, leading the team this year in minutes played in this calendar year. Pierce for Beasley. Bradley goes the other way. Onyewu off Dempsey. Cuba gets it back. Clavello. Palome. Another pass that's behind. Cuba not doing themselves favors with these turnovers early.
No, not very good. In terms of the ball turning over from the U.S., they're very quick to closing the play down, the closest man to the ball, which is nice to see. And they have ability now to spread the game out and keep that possession. You see where the 4-4-2 and where the pressure is really a low pressure from Cuba right now. The 2 strikers, Munoz and Duarte, the 11 and the 15 kind of chopping off.
Donovan may have a chance here. Ching goes for the box. It's played back. Michael Bradley shanked it off the right foot. Off the setup. They got numbers forward in a hurry.
Oh, this is a good ball here. We see how they break up the play right now. Now watch Landon Donovan, you know, very good in terms of his vision. He knows how to pick a player out. Doesn't waste the opportunity. Plays it back to Bradley. Bradley, technique lets him down here. Wants to put that on the frame, but it's good to see Michael Bradley getting forward as well so early in this game.
Let's take a look at the United States Marine Corps team profile, and it involves the United States, an unbelievable record in World Cup qualifying at home since way back in '88. Only loss, Honduras, here in this stadium. A stadium that has been very friendly to the U.S. national team on both the men's and the women's side. You played some big games here. Ireland was one of them.
Yeah,
that
huge,
was not a qualifier, obviously,
huge
but
games.
A big game.
Yeah, Mexico was a very good one, 4-0.
That was an unbelievable result, wasn't
great
it?
Game,
As you
yeah,
think back
great
to that.
Game. Yep. I think it's the best result that we've had against them ever.
Heath Pierce will have a throw in. What do you think of the tempo so far, 7 minutes in?
Well, it's a little bit slow in terms of the U.S. I think they're still trying to feel things out with Cuba. I'd like to see them play a little bit quicker through the midfield. I mean, it's been slow going around the back. When teams sit off, they're happy to keep you in front of them. If the U.S. can penetrate a little bit better. They have had chances, though. You know, if Dempsey, he's got to finish that chance. Michael's getting an open opportunity there, Michael Bradley. But they are knocking the ball around quite nice.
Donovan to the long-time friend and teammate DeMarcus Beasley knocked away. Throw in U.S. Beasley for question. For Donovan. Trying a quick give and go, but Clavello was right there and took it away. Clavello.
And that's how Clavello was in the first game. Very tight on Landon Donovan. I think they're trying to share that responsibility here, being away from home. But Clavello, the captain, he does a good job of really just holding that central midfield position. Now we have a free kick in the other way.
Genzi Munoz drew that foul on Michael Bradley. From distance, Tim Howard looking at this one. Never reaches goal. Play back to Yoel Colome. Once again, Cuba gives it away.
Yeah, and the one thing too, JP, you have to mention is that Cuba hasn't had a chance to prepare properly for this either. And we talked to the coach yesterday, and he was saying that, look, they've never played in front of a big stadium like this, so this is a great opportunity. They're enthusiastic. They're going to try to take that and make it a positive. But at the same time, there's a little bit of nervous feeling there. You know, getting that first touch under the belt, being comfortable. Reinhold Franz doing the best he can to bring some discipline into this Cuba side, organization, you know, giving them opportunities, letting players come through the system. And of course, we know how awkward it can be when so many players have left Cuba and defected here through the Olympics over the years, a Gold Cup.
12 of them at last count since 2002, and we're not counting the 2 from yesterday, still reported as missing. Pierce on the left, holds it, pressure there by Villegas. Onyewu. Nobody's pressuring him. Releases to Bradley. Question. They switch the point of attack to Pierce.
That's a good ball. I like the point of attack being switched quickly. Sasha Kleshin picking his head up. That's how you're going to penetrate. When teams drop back and they're in this defensive shell, you've got to get it from one side of the field to the other, open them up and try to get in behind them wide.
Clavello, bad touch there. It goes in. Beasley, the shot! DeMarcus Beasley scores.
And this is a good start for the USA, only 11 minutes into the game, and they're talking about getting balls wide. It falls here to Sasha Kleshin, who finds the space in the gap. Look at that ball through to DeMarcus Beasley, and hey, no doubt about it, he picks out his corner in the back post. Another good look here, says Kleshin. He is aggressive to the ball. They beat Clavello in behind, and there's Beasley making the most of his opportunity behind Fernandez, the number 16. Bob Bradley's team keeping their patience, waiting for the opportunities, and now they're presenting themselves.
Big goal for the U.S., maybe even bigger for DeMarcus Beasley, his first of this season. He's battled some injuries. They want to see the DeMarcus Beasley of old, the guy that was flying up the wing, converting on chances, setting up chances, and he looked good there.
Yeah, and he's, you know, like we said beforehand, he's getting a little bit back to his sharpness, his fitness from his injury. Didn't play a lot with Rangers in the offseason, building into their preseason. So Bob Bradley being safe with that, giving him time, and now he looks a little bit sharper. It's a good start for him.
The cross. Ching nearly nailed it at that far post.
And here's a great look. See, Rich, our cameraman, this is very high and open. Look at this. The ball plays in behind. And there you go from Beasley. But it's good just the way they attack the ball in the center part of the field, being aggressive again, the U.S. side.
A letdown from arguably their best defensive player, to Clavello. It was his header that he messed up on that gave the USA the ball. USA leads Cuba 1-0 on a DeMarcus Beasley goal. Beasley's 16th international goal. Here's Kleshin stepping up. Thought Dempsey was going one way, he went the other. Cervantes picks it up.
Well, the angle of the ball that was laid back to Sasha Kleshin, he either should keep it or he made a good decision by playing it to Dempsey. Dempsey trying to take off in behind, but that lane was closed.
Upfield. Dempsey steps over a couple of times. Was blocked, kept in play by the aggressiveness of Ching and company. Stayed with it.
Well, the number 2, Minoso has his hands full there with Ching battling, and then you see Dempsey come over to double team. This is what we talk about in terms of the defense of the U.S. It starts up high, not just the back line, not the midfield in terms of where Michael Bradley is, but also up high. The two strikers, they put the pressure on. That makes it easier for the rest of the side to get their shape and balance and behind. Talk about responsibility and sharing that, JP, in the defense side. It also comes with the goals that US have scored this year. Michael Bradley getting on the end of that set piece from Landon against Trinidad and Tobago. Bocanegra scoring the goal against Guatemala away. These are important responsibilities from each player who share that wealth in goal scoring. So it's a full, complete effort in this team.
Halfway line, flag is up. Referee's assistant on the near side had the flag up. Referee acknowledges it. Now he's going to bring the play back. Take the kick from a different spot, apparently. Be put back into play by Michael Bradley. Wearing number 12 for the United States. Left side for Pierce.
It's amazing that Michael Bradley just played that ball. They brought it back. You would think Cuba would want to mark up. Michael Bradley goes and plays it again. 12 seconds later, straight ball. I like the shape so far from the U.S. Kleshin and Michael Bradley doing a good job of sharing that space in behind Landon Donovan, who picks their times when to go forward and support. You know, the play that Michael had earlier at the top of the 18 was he found himself in that position with Heerenveen, his old club in Holland, where he used to score many goals. Now he's moved on to Borussia Mönchengladbach, where Christian Zega is now taking over.
That's right.
As the assistant. What a great player he was.
We remember
in
him.
his day.
The left foot. He had some injuries that slowed down his career, but he was a solid player. Germany. Cherundolo crossing it. Knocked away. Cleared out by Fernandez.
Cherundolo, he offers that great overlapping run down the line. Does a good job to get to that ball before it runs out of play.
Cherundolo plays for Hannover in Germany. Actually brought to that team by the man coaching Cuba tonight, Reinhold Fons.
Well, I love the understanding there from Beasley and Bocanegra. Unfortunately, the ball didn't connect to Beasley, but Beasley's checking in and looking for it in behind the defender. Bocanegra's trying to find that.
U.S. playing with a lot more confidence, playing at home. Sometimes that does it. We saw that in the game against Trinidad at Toyota Park. We're seeing it here tonight, too.
I would say as an ex-player, it always does it. When you have that comfort level, that security, the fans behind you, knowing the field, it's a great feeling. And the chance that you have to go out and attack teams and be aggressive, it's there. They want to take more risk.
Duarte for Cuba. Colome's pass, Cervantes. On the turn, Munoz went down. Back upfield, the U.S. with Dempsey. To Beasley. Dempsey trying to shake free. Makes his run. Looks around now for some help. Plays it back. Beasley tackled out. Knocked out on the near side by Colome, Yoel Colome.
Very promising run from Dempsey, who not only takes players on, but then he finds himself running out of room, but collects himself and keeps possession back to Beasley. Very good ball. Field conditions excellent here in RFK Stadium.
Fernandez pass. Villegas. He was slowed down. Knocked away. Cuba will give it right back to Donovan. He's doubled up, but released it back to Pierce. There's the quickness of play that they're looking for.
It's great pressure up front there, and you saw the play switch to Michael Bradley there. Michael lays it off to Kleshin, plays the way he's facing. Keep it simple. That's great how they keep possession there.
Munoz, number 11, played it wide for Cervantes. Clavello looking for the give and go. Kleshin denied that. Went in hard in the challenge. U.S. gets it back. Then Beasley lost it there. The counter for Cuba. Couldn't spring Yoel Colome. And now they must defend.
When you look at the start of this game, JP, it's so important that Beasley was clinical in terms of execution and finishing that chance, because when you play teams like that, sometimes you can have all the possession in the world in the final third. You don't execute, you don't finish those chances, and then one chance at the other end sometimes can hurt you. You find yourself down. So very good start and a good finish from DeMarcus Beasley. Start this team off right.
Pierce. Bocanegra to Bradley. Cuba now trying to squeeze Michael Bradley in there in that tight spot. It got free towards Donovan. Clavello is there. Villegas back deeper than he normally goes. All the way back to goal. To Molina. Pressure on Molina, nearly forced to give way. Clavello takes it. The captain finds Cervantes. Switched over by Munoz. Cervantes back towards the halfway line. Alan Cervantes on the turn. Nice ball, but it was knocked away at the last moment by Onyewu. And it's back to Fernandez. Colome intercepted. Gave it right to Beasley. Tried to burn him on that sideline. He wanted a foul call for the very least obstruction, but it wasn't called.
Good decision by Colome. Kind of just stepped in front of Beasley there, read that. Good defensive play.
Duarte. Viejas, and now Duarte, knocked out by Pierce. Thought it was knocked off. Maybe a Cuba player, was not, apparently.
This is where Cuba, really, you see Duarte, the number 15, he taking that position for Roberto Linares. There he is. A little bit different player. You know, Linares likes to cut and slice and dice and diagonal runs, and you're not going to see that from Duarte. He's more of a hustle, try to keep possession type of player up front.
Throw in for the United States. Onyewu from Bocanegra. Beasley closer to the middle. He got clipped by Joel Colome, and Beasley stays down in some pain. And a yellow card is presented to Joel Colome. Bob Bradley has to be concerned that it's nothing serious against the player that has had some injury problems of late.
Well, again, this ball just played into DeMarcus Beasley, and you'll see as he releases this ball, just coming in very late, stepping on the foot. They don't want DeMarcus injured this early in the game. Again, like you said, JP, and we mentioned at the top of the hour, he was coming back from an injury throughout the summer.
He's still feeling it. We'll try to shake it off as the U.S. has it. They've got the lead 1-0 on Beasley's goal. Heath Pierce looks patiently. Beasley, tough ball for him to get. He recovers it for Donovan. Nice ball in. Bradley called off apparently by Dempsey. But Dempsey fires it high out of play.
Well, there's plenty of quality there on the bench. Freddie Adu, Altidore playing at Villarreal. Adu at Monaco, Maurice Adu at Glasgow. Danny Califf, Michelin, Frankie Hayden, Columbus Crew, top of the MLS League, Brad Guzan. And then Torres, the new face.
Yep.
Coming in, born in Texas, been playing with Pachuca in Mexico for 5 years. I think they're happy to have him here and possibly get his first cap tonight.
USA will have a free kick, 23rd minute.
A lot of different countries being represented tonight for league play with the U.S. squad.
On the whistle, Beasley. Clavello cleared it away. It was going to Dempsey. Some confusion there, but the flag goes up. Michael Bradley shot it anyway. Tough to hear over the roar of the crowd. Played up that right side for Cuba. Bocanegra wanted it in the air. Didn't get all of it. Cuba pushing it back, and they gave it right back to Landon Donovan. Michael Bradley wanted to switch it. It wasn't on for Cherundolo. Onyewu, that's blocked, and it's coming all the way back deep towards Tim Howard, who will venture from goal. All the way to Bocanegra. Had some great years with the Chicago Fire in Major League Soccer. Now playing over in France with Rennes. Cherundolo to question. Plays for Chivas USA. Several of these MLS players missing some important MLS games this weekend. Games with playoff implications. DeMarcus Beasley limping again. I'm not sure if he got hit again or if that's from the first time. Pierce towards Beasley. He couldn't get there. Dempsey for Pierce to question. Donovan got clipped. He'll start back against Clavello. Cherundolo wide for Ching. U.S. keeps it. Marcus Beasley is struggling.
He just got clipped again from behind, I believe. So he's trying to stay on the pitch right now, but couple of late tackles. Getting after DeMarcus Beasley. Well, they feel threatened by him possibly from the first goal, and they know the pace. And
Munoz, got a U.S. player down. That's Dempsey. Play continues. Dempsey still down, slowly getting up. Cut off there by Beasley, who went in hard for that ball. That you would think is a good sign.
No, I think he's recovered. And then it gets clipped again.
It's tough to recover that way. Clashed it on it for DeMarcus Beasley, now in the middle. Pierce is making a run up the left flank. Bradley finds him. Pierce trying to beat Yoel Colome with pace. He was slowed down. Back to Kleshton. Former Seton Hall star pushes it back to Bocanegra. Back for Kleshton. Pierce off Ching. Kleshton stepped up. Give and go. Give and go again to Beasley. Now to Kleshton. Cuba will win this ball.
Good combination play, and it's nice to see Sacha Kleshton with such confidence. He's such a good, talented, great passer of the ball, and possibly one of the future players, really, for the U.S. who can be an attacking midfielder. Does such a good job with Chivas USA and Preki. Yeah, I think he does a great job, and I know Preki, the head coach at Chivas USA, likes to play him sometimes on the left, maybe as an attacking player. Very young, did a good job in the Olympics, scored in the Olympics, but very smart player, very smart.
ESPN's presentation of U.S. Soccer is brought to you by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. By Campbell's Chunky, official soup and chili sponsor of the NFL. And by Wrangler, real comfortable jeans. USA leads Cuba by 1 on a DeMarcus Beasley goal that came in the 10th minute. Yoel Colome for Cuba. Gave it away off Bradley, give and go. Michael Bradley's in the box. Played it back, Kleshton. Tried to finesse that through for Ching. Duarte.
Good, this is good from the U.S. because, you know, sometimes it's very hard to break down the team when they get compact and they get numbers behind the ball, but what the U.S. is doing a good job of is applying pressure to the ball, and they're not just doing it individually. They're doing it collectively as a side, and that's giving them opportunities to then get after the ball.
I can go to Molina. Over the top, Cherundolo. Or Sacha Kleshton. Back to Cherundolo on the wing. For Ching. 12 goals for Ching with the Houston Dynamo, one of the top scorers in MLS, Brian Ching. Next up for the U.S., a trip to Port of Spain, Trinidad. They'll face Trinidad and Tobago. Could be a chance for Bob Bradley to change the roster a little bit. Depending on tonight's result, of course, that's a win tonight. They would clinch a spot in the next round with a couple of games to go. So there would be a chance, perhaps, to experiment. U.S. Soccer's International Qualifier presented by the United States Marine Corps, ESPN Wednesday, live at 8 Eastern. Trinidad and Tobago have a big one tonight as well, John, playing against Guatemala. One of those two teams is not going to make it to the next round.
Trinidad and Tobago, they really need to do a little bit better job on what they did against the U.S. in Chicago.
Far side, there's Molina.
Came out very flat, almost like a Sunday league team against the U.S., and the U.S. took advantage of that with the 3 goals. A 3-0 decision.
They brought in some familiar players. The last we saw, players like Stern, John Dwight York, Virgil coming in for this game, but it's a big one tonight between those two teams. This is a day where not only the United States, but also Mexico in their group and Costa Rica in their group could clinch a spot in the next round with a win tonight. Others could clinch, but they'll need help. We'll go over all of those standings coming up at halftime in the Dick's Sporting Goods halftime report.
DeMarcus Beasley almost catching that one, trying to anticipate play. The back pass, it almost, I think, the guy didn't pass it properly. It kind of came off his ankle.
Beasley from Bradley, cut off. Yoel Colome. Jaime Colome. Number 14 will hold it, goes up the middle. Duarte, Jaime Colome, Clavello. Slowed down, the foul was called against Dempsey. so noisy you can barely hear the referee's whistle here at RFK.
Very good atmosphere here. Normally you see the Screaming Eagles, Barra Brava, La Norte for the DC United. They haven't had much to cheer about this season, although they are here tonight supporting Sam's Army. Very good atmosphere for the USA. Very good support.
MC goes the other way with it. US will get it. Donovan calmly brought it down. USA's all-time leading goal scorer finds Beasley, no flag. Beasley, he has two.
Well, it's a great first touch, and here's the run. Look at the timing of this ball. The vision, the understanding between these two players who grew up together in the IMG Academy. Good ball in behind, beats the defense, and Beasley takes it down. And even a bouncing ball like that, make sure he follows through. Good technique, keeping it hard and low underneath the keeper. Molina, good start for DeMarcus Beasley, and it's a good sign for Glasgow Rangers.
Good angle on that replay, too, to show where he made the run and the timing with he and Donovan. When they are on together, it can be magical. Cuba bringing it down. Quick shot over Howard, and off the crossbar and in. Cuba has scored. The shutout streak is over. Genzi Munoz has ended this long streak.
Well, here's the answer back from Cuba. Here's a space, kind of a miscommunication with the ball here. That's just a toe poke over. Difficult, really, to shut that down. A little bit of a lucky bounce here. Comes off of Michael Bradley, and the other player, Munoz, just tucks this one, took it well. Good strike from Munoz.
On their first shot, they score. That's huge for him and for Cuba. You saw the heads down on the bench after Beasley had scored, and we gave you that reaction. Heads are up now.
Well, you would think the floodgates would open for the U.S. team after that second goal, and this is a good answer back from Cuba. Reinhold Franz, the head coach, off the bench with the subs, and the staff saying, hey, get back behind the ball. Good way to get back in the game. It was a well-taken strike to beat Tim Howard, and it has to be from that distance.
Here's a chance perhaps for Ching as he tried to cross it for Beasley. Beasley had a 2-goal game here against Uruguay back in 2002.
Oh, bad decision there. That's definitely a corner.
Yeah.
Beasley does a good job. I'm sorry, Ching.
The crowd agrees with you.
Yeah, off of Fernandez, the number 16. Depends on the angle of the referee. Maybe didn't see it there. Here it is under pressure in the corner. Brian Ching just comes off of Fernandez.
So a 2-1 game here. Give Cuba all the credit in the world for coming back and nailing one. Right after the USA scored, a couple of minutes later, when teams, you always hear it, are vulnerable right after you've scored. You see it so many times at so many levels. That's his first goal allowed, Tim Howard, in 582 minutes.
No, it goes back to really, you know, it's a bit of a lucky strike from Munoz, but he'll take it. Took it well. The way he struck it looked awkward, almost like a toe poke thing. You don't want to teach that.
Yeah.
But when it works, it works.
Cervantes pushing it back for Cuba. Switch to the right side, Fernandez. Joel Colome, tackle out. Throw in coming up. Duarte tried to push it through. Referee's assistant helped out with that call. So 6 consecutive shutouts gone. 582 minutes, the total. An incredible run. U.S. in a real minority in terms of giving up goals in all of World Cup qualifying. Only a few teams coming into today that had all of those shutouts. U.S. was one of them. Duarte. That's wide of Tim Howard. With the regular season wrapping up, it's a chance to see playoff-bound Taylor Twellman in the Revolution here at RFK against the DC United side that's fighting to make the postseason. You can see it live on ESPN2. MLS Primetime Thursday, presented by Adidas, 7:30 Eastern Time. Next Thursday, it's the day following the USA versus Trinidad and Tobago in Trinidad. Off Donovan. Sharangelo goes over there on that far side. USA's ball. He'll have a throw in.
You think to the last time we mentioned Spain scoring against the USA, that was back in June 4th. Xavi Hernandez. Well, and the U.S. doing a good job of even shutting down Argentina in those international friendlies that were set up throughout. England being the other team who scored against them.
Michael Bradley, left side. Boca Negra, 36th minute. A 2-1 USA lead over Cuba at RFK Stadium in this World Cup qualifier. A win for the United States tonight puts them into the final round of World Cup qualifying with still 2 more games to go. The one Wednesday in Trinidad, one coming up later in November, a home game at Dick's Sporting Goods Park in Commerce City, and that is against Guatemala. Costa Rica is in now with that win in Group 3. They have clinched the spot with a win over Suriname. They could have gotten in with a win on their own tonight, and they get it. Back Donovan. Top 2 teams advancing in each group. We'll give you a clearer picture at halftime of where the standings are. Deflected out, throw in Cuba. Cervantes. Clavelo. All the way back on Cuba's side of the halfway line. Oh, bad ball back, given right away to Donovan. 1 against 3. Donovan looks, waits for the help. It's there. Michael Bradley looks, shoots, save Molina. Corner kick. First one for the U.S.
Well, it's good that Michael Bradley got the shot off with his first touch not being as clean as he wanted to, but here's the run from Landon Donovan, trying to take him on, runs out of space and territory. There's a first touch, gets caught under Michael's feet, but he does get a good strike to test the goalkeeper, which leads to the corner. He's pushing forward quite well. Sasha Kleshtin being the other holding midfielder, sharing that responsibility of getting forward. They're doing a good job of understanding each other. One holds, one goes.
Donovan on the corner. Played all the way across. Sharangelo let it go for Beasley, and then it's deflected. I should say Bocanegra was on that side.
Well, I can tell you right now, Bocanegra is going to say, hey, give me that back, because that goal he scored against Guatemala away with the head, he's very dangerous. Beasley just didn't connect well.
Dempsey helped to win it back for Kleshtin. To Donovan. The ball played ahead, but picked off. Cuba's on it. Fernandez broke it up. There's Cervantes. Dempsey's on him. Yehu headed it, but right back the other way. Jaime Colome to his brother Yoel.
U.S. getting a little bit flat right here from the midfield and the back line. Getting a little bit too deep.
And Colome will send this one in well wide. Coming up with the Dick's Sporting Goods halftime report, John and I will update the entire CONCACAF World Cup qualifying landscape with scores and standings. We'll tell you who's in and who's looking like they're going to be on the outside. Plus, we'll fully break down highlights from this match. All coming up on the Dick's Sporting Goods halftime report.
A lot of CONCACAF games going on, JP, and a lot of MLS games going on tonight.
It's a big weekend on the calendar. MLS still getting nailed, obviously, for still playing during World Cup qualifying. It's something that they'll try to address and maybe limit some of those conflicts if they can. They acknowledge it's a problem, but right now they're finding it very difficult to deal with. Bocanegra's pass to Kleshtin. Sasha Kleshtin will hold it now for Dempsey. USA leads here at 2-1. That ball is given away. Viejas. Try to push it up. That's cut off.
Cliff Dempsey has to be a little bit more careful in terms of giving these balls away. He did it early on in the first half. Ball played back through the center part of the midfield, and then again here trying to switch the point of attack. Needs to be a little bit more sure of himself when he's playing those balls.
Fernandez out of play. Cuba's done what no one else has been able to do in World Cup qualifying. That score against the United States. 583 minutes without conceding a goal for Howard and Guzan. Howard's streak alone 449 minutes.
You talk about scoring goals. I think Dempsey will do his best to get on the score sheet tonight. He's very dangerous, good technique. We've seen him score goals for Fulham. He's only played three games this year with Fulham, one coming on as a starter. No goals yet, but he can score for the U.S.
U.S. will have a throw-in coming up.
It's important that the U.S. keep their focus as much as possible here. A couple of minutes before halftime is not a time to kind of rest on your laurels and get flat. Remember, when Munoz scored that goal, got back into it straight away. It's only a one-goal game.
Oh, Donovan got clipped. Colome already has a yellow card. If he's getting booked, he's done. There it is. So Cuba came in shorthanded in terms of a couple of players reported missing. Now they're missing one numerically in this game.
Well, it's a late challenge. And the referee, no hesitation, giving the yellow. Once he gave the yellow, the referee, Salazar from Panama, realizing that it was his second, has to send him off. Landon Donovan on the break with speed. Yoel Colome catching him late. And here's a tight shot of it. Here's the first touch getting past him. He's on the run. And there's the late challenge.
So now it's 11 versus 10. As the U.S. attacks in the dying minutes of this opening half. Going to get in another one, get that momentum back before halftime.
Well, it's a good ball from Landon Donovan there. A little bit deception that even threw off DeMarcus Beasley. The pace of that ball, faking to cross it, slipping it in. DeMarcus not on top of that. And now the advantage certainly is with the U.S. as they build more confidence from that. We have seen many times a team come together even more and work harder when they're a man down.
Facing the adversity. I got to tell you, this is the second time I've seen Cuba. I'm impressed, and you wonder how much better they could be with more money, better coaching, better facilities. Some of these players can really play the game.
Yeah, that's the thing, JP. And when we talk to the coach, Reinhold Franz, who says the same things as you, is like there's so much that's not in his control. They want to get younger players through the system. They want the opportunities. They want to be able to train and have more preparation. They don't even have a proper league. They don't have a pro league. So it's been very hard for them. So if anything, he's done a great job.
Yeah. Told that get back to that in a moment as Beasley. He finds Donovan. Landon with a keeper out. Looks. Played it across. He thought somebody else was there. At least that's my guess from here.
Well, Landon knows what he was looking at. He thought Beasley was going to peel off to the back post, and Beasley checked back for the ball. He did a good job, and of course his pace, which allows him to get around that goalkeeper. Then on the angle, it's shut down quickly. Cuba got numbers back behind the ball. Thought he still could have got a shot off on the angle.
Yeah,
he really did.
He's trying to be unselfish too.
Now he knows. Landon knows.
Yeah.
Doing a good job, and he's very dangerous in and around the box.
Bradley laid it off to Question. Up for Ching. Cut off there by Fernandez. He went down. Dempsey fouled him. Fernandez stays down.
Well, again, here it is, another turnover and good pressure from DeMarcus Beasley. These two players link up well, and there's the first touch. I thought he could have got a shot off, maybe not. Landon's the one who sees, you know, what's in front of him. He's on the field. We're only up in the booth. We make it look easy when we're up here, but he's on the pitch. So the angle was closed down quickly there.
Ching runs after this. Oh, Cuba just gave up a corner that they didn't have to. Second one for the U.S. Donovan thinking about getting it into play quickly if it's there, but now it's not. Play it back. Question. Donovan's wide open if they can get it back to him. Instead, it's deflected into a crowded area. Clavello got it free towards Duarte. Cherundolo sends it back. Donovan brought it down well. Off Onyewu. It goes down in the box. Stoppage time. A couple of minutes added on.
That actually could have been a foul on Onyewu, and maybe the referee, because of the size of Onyewu, said, hey, you're a big fella. You're a big lad, stay up on your feet. But good decision by Cherundolo. There was a lot of height on that ball, but still the idea to switch it back to the weak side and get Landon Donovan in behind the defense was very good.
Michael Bradley's pass to the right. Cherundolo broken up, and it goes right to Bradley. Question. One of 9 players of the 23 that assembled here who was part of the Olympic squad. Pierce in the first minute of 2 in stoppage. Beasley's cross knocked away by Clavello. Cuba playing with 10 men after the setting off of Yoel Colome for his second yellow card on a challenge against Landon Donovan.
Landon Donovan making a good run in the box there, hoping for a little bit of a better service from DeMarcus Beasley. He's attacking the spots across the 6-yard box, which is always dangerous for any goalkeeper. And Molinas has had his hand full. Goalkeeper for Cuba.
Beasley from Pierce. DeMarcus has both U.S. goals. Try to cut inside. Cleared away by Munoz, who has the lone tally for Cuba. Onyewu plays it up. Dempsey. Less than a half minute to go in the first half.
Cuba can't keep this up much more, JP, as they go into the second half, just sitting back and defending and trying to, you know, defy any attacking presence from the U.S. It's, you know, the longer it goes on, the harder it becomes. And the U.S. have many attacking opportunities, and they still have such a talented bench of players to come off and contribute to this game. But the U.S. starting 11 doing a good job tonight.
Referee has looked at the watch, and that's going to do it for this first half of play. An interesting first half in terms of attacking soccer, for sure. DeMarcus Beasley with 2 goals, one in the 10th minute, one in the 30th. Munoz scored in the 32nd minute of play. We have head coach Bob Bradley down on the sidelines. Bob, let's thank you first for joining us. Your thoughts on the first half of play?
Overall, we're pleased. Obviously, the letdown after the second goal is not something we wanted, but we need to just continue. I think we've created some good chances, and there's certainly more goals to be scored tonight.
Coach Bradley, it seems as if, like, really the opportunities by Dempsey and DeMarcus Beasley getting on the score sheet, which was nice, but the space is there to really exploit.
Yeah, I think for sure that the movement with those guys mixing up, being wide, and then coming inside to the seams, and then getting Heath Pierce and Stevie Cherundolo to join in so we can double up the flanks in the right moments is something that's worked well and has created some good chances for us.
Bob, thanks for your time.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Bob Bradley, head coach of the U.S. national team. His side is up 2-1 is your score. We'll come back with the Dick's Sporting Goods halftime report. Tell you who's on top of the tables.